mouthful.
Nice head.
Look at his horns. Get that guy.
Got it? Okay.
Aren't they beautiful?
They are.
Look at his got velvet on him still.
Hey. Oh well, that's alright. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Anthony, come down here and get these.
What's the matter? They're getting a little bit feisty.
Ooh, look how hairy he is. Dad, take my pictures. Oh, look at this little guy.
What do you think, Mama?
The guy comes running.
Oh,
Roosevelt and Rocky Mountain. Roosevelt exists primarily on the west side of the Cascade Crest, and Rocky Mountain are primarily on the east side. Roosevelt prefer the denser, more lush, wet climates, and Rocky Mountain do a little bit better in that high desert ecosystem. So they do intermingle a little bit across that crest, but it's kind of pretty well defined boundary if you're looking at elk. So Roosevelt are the larger of the two subspecies, or largest subspecies of elk for that matter. The largest ever recorded bull, so the male bull elk, was around 1,200 pounds, I think, and that was up in Alaska.
Huh.
We're not looking at any that are 1,200 pounds out here today. Probably our biggest ones out here are in the 800-pound range.
Yeah.
They do get much bigger than that out here, but just this year, probably our largest one, I think, is just over here. It's kind of in the back right there. So we do have a couple different age classes and sexes of elk. So we have right over here is a good example of a calf by itself, and then just in front of it, you can see there's a calf and a cow standing kind of right next to each other. So the calves are born in about June, and so they're about 7 months old right now, and they're still pretty significantly smaller than the cows. But by the time they reach 1 year old, they will pretty much be indistinguishable. So they do grow very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you can tell is once they get a little bit closer in size is their noses are actually going to be a little bit shorter, and so their noses will get longer as you can see them right next to each other. Yeah, once they're full grown. So and then over here, right here, we have actually we have a couple, which are called spike elk. So they're 1 year old bulls, going on 2. So after their first year of life, they'll start to grow what are called spike antlers. So they look like this, and so they're just a single one shaft antler. We can pass that around if you guys want to hold that. That's one that was shed from one of our animals out here. And so they'll start to grow those in late April, early May, and then they'll grow them all the way up until about August, and then they do shed those every single year. So once they get past 1 year, or once they reach about 2, they'll start to get branches off their antlers. So we have a great example of one that's probably about 2 years old right over here. He's got his head down, and he's got a couple what are called tines. So those are the branches off of the main shaft of the antler. And so he's a younger bull, but is probably about 2 years old. So they'll start to get multiple tines. We can pass that one around too. So that one probably came from an animal that was about 3 or 4. A lot of people think that the amount of tines corresponds exactly with the age of the animal, and that is true to a certain extent, but it doesn't necessarily. If you had a 5 point like that one, you wouldn't say that that's guaranteed to be a 5-year-old elk. It could be anywhere from 4 to 6. So what it really depends on is the amount of nutrition that they're able to get during that period when their antlers are growing. Because as you can imagine, growing that in about 4 months takes a lot of energy.
Right.
And then it also depends on the amount of testosterone, which is also correlated with how much nutrition they're able to get, as well as the age of the animal.
Right.
That is probably about 10 or so pounds as an antler. The largest ever single recorded antler was 28.5 pounds, so nearly 3 times that size. And so if you can imagine growing or 2 of those out of the top of your head every single year, it's always amazing to me, and I've been watching it happen for quite some time. So yeah, pretty astounding. We did have a little bit of fighting going on over there, so the cows will kind of hop up on their back legs and kick the snot out of each other. But yeah, so they'll grow those for, like I said, for about 3 or 4 months. That Spike knows pretty quick that he's not going to win that fight. Takes off. But when you do get 2 bigger bulls that are full of testosterone and have similar sized antlers, we might see some sparring over food between these 2 because they're a little bit close to the same size. But they will lock antlers and have a battle royale for a little while. Sometimes they will fight to the death if the animals are close to the same size and not willing to back down. But that's rare. Usually it's one bull kind of figures out that he's not going to win the fight pretty quickly, and they don't want to die. They just he's gonna go recover for a little bit and probably try again later. So and then so they're bred in about August and September, and then they will be the cows that are, some of them are pregnant right now, are pregnant for just about 9 months, and then we'll have their babies in about June. So.
And when they calf, will they calf here?
So I have seen them calf in the fields. Usually what they do is they'll go find a secluded area, usually pretty brushy, that they can have their calves in. It's usually pretty difficult to get to that area, just so that predators aren't likely to just wander in there. And then they'll come out and they'll feed, and then they'll go back and they'll nurse and come back out and feed.
So you usually don't see the baby until they're a month.
Usually it's a couple weeks to a month. And ultimately reduce the damage that they cause to people, so they're not experiencing financial loss. So that's one of the main reasons for this program. It's because we have an opportunity to do an educational event like this. Gets people out, kind of gives us a little bit of a soapbox to stand on and talk about the fact that, although we are a hunting and fishing based organization, our mission is to provide for all Oregonians, whether or not you are a hunter or a fisherman. So also provide viewing opportunities like this. And then to talk about conservation, we do a lot of work that you would probably never see because it's in a very remote area. And part of it's for reintroductions. Sometimes it's good for a population that's struggling to have a little bit of genetic diversity mixed in. So bringing an animal in from outside provides that. Yeah, so haven't done that in a while because of some concerns with wildlife diseases these days. But we have done that in the past, and if we were asked to do it again, we'd have to be very cautious. But it is still an option for us. And this area has one of the healthiest elk populations in the state. So it's if we pull a couple elk from here, it's not going to, cause
Sorry.
detriment to the detriment to the population. So yeah, you might see that a lot of the cows right now are kind of chasing off the bulls even. And this time of year there are usually one or two, or in this case because we have a couple herds or two herds together, up to like 4 or 5 lead cows, and they will run the show at this point. And that might be one of them because of how she was chasing off that spike, but usually you can tell because there will be 1 or 2 cows with a big old pile of food right in front of them and no other elk standing around them, because when they go over there they either get bit or kicked in the face.
Is that little calf missing his tail right there? Is that just like his tailbone sticking out?
Oh no, it's just
okay.
it's got diarrhea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.